All right, hello and welcome to the Lisa Lash's School of Music YouTube channel. Today I'm here with the band Supracelestials for an interview. Thanks for coming in, guys. So let's just get started. Can you tell us a little bit about your band? What music do you play? How do you guys get together to form the band?
Well, started off in college.
Yeah.
We started off as a duo. Got we got paired with each other to do like
Acoustic set.
yeah, and then we just stuck because we were actually pretty good. Yeah, and the type of music we play, well, it varies. How do we describe it? We had an alt rock the other day. That's how that was described.
Yeah,
But it always
we've had a
changes.
lot of, like, we've had
Punk like alt rock.
indie grunge.
Yeah,
It's very.
I don't think you can define it, so it changes every time someone does a write up. But we have some heavy songs and have some soft songs, so I guess
The best way I would describe it is, we play music.
yeah.
Yeah.
music.
Good to have variety, though. I feel like at the end of the day, like sometimes you're feeling like making heavy stuff, sometimes you're feeling like not making heavy stuff. There's no point like restricting yourself to a certain genre. Just like Dylan was saying, just make music. Whatever
Yeah.
feels right.
And just be like, okay, I'm gonna throw my guitar around on stage. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I was, but sometimes you want to go and just be like, I want to connect with the audience on a different level, and it's good to have that variety because you can do it all in one set.
Absolutely. All right. Well, how did the name of the band come about? Does it have any symbolic meaning?
My mum
Yeah.
told us it was a cool word, and we were a bit desperate at the
Yeah.
time.
At the time, it was just Katie and Dylan, which doesn't really have a ring to it. So we were looking for a band name. And yeah, Supracelestials, basically, Supra means bigger, or super, however you want to pronounce it, means like bigger, and Celestials is like
pretty big.
yeah, like it's like the plane of existence. Like that's my interpretation of it anyway. So it just basically means we're out of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good point, especially like with band names. Like you don't necessarily need like a super like symbolic meaning towards it. You can just have a word that sounds cool.
It's difficult because changing it once you've established yourself with that, like people really struggle pronouncing Supracelestials. It's a cool name, but like our drummer is dyslexic, and sometimes he gets very stressed trying to like read it and stuff.
Yeah. Is there any gig in particular that's particularly memorable for you, for any reason, good or bad?
I would probably say the first gig we'd done with a drummer, because obviously before we were just doing acoustic stages and like having short little slots. Like every now and then having an acoustic gig is fine, but like I've always just wanted to like put my guitar down and like dance around and rock out on stage, and I could never do that because I would have had to be playing guitar. So probably the first gig, which was the 10th of December, we were opening for a band, and it was just a good night.
Very nice, very nice. How did you go about securing your first gigs?
So in for our acoustic band, I think I hosted a night. So I won a competition back in 2019, I think. It was called Sudbury's Got Talent. And I entered it, just thinking nothing of it. It turned out, at the time I didn't know, but the prize was a primetime slot on BBC Radio 2, I think. And a hosting your own night at that theatre. So I had 70 people turn up to come watch me, and I was very nervous. So I asked Dylan if he would like come in and do the last half, because I needed an hour and a half set, and my own original stuff was like 45. So I was like, could you perhaps come and help? And then he did, and then it worked really well, like real good. And yeah.
So how have you found booking new shows? Do you have any advice for some new bands looking to secure their first gig?
Know the right people.
Yeah.
That's all it's come down to. Like, there's only so many emails you can send out to places with your portfolio.
But I would say send as many emails as someone who gets the gigs. That's what I do, is I send emails. Basically, I change the words as and when I need it. It's basically like, hi, I've wanted to play here for so long. Really like exaggerating it, but also being like, no worries if not, because that makes it seem like you're not desperate. But yeah, definitely send as many emails. Like if you can message them on Facebook if that's their preferred contact. Like just keep trying. And if it's far away, make sure you're getting paid for it. So we sort of want to like
at least break even.
Definitely make sure that you're sending all the emails, but also know your worth and make sure that you.
But yeah, don't undersell. Don't do free gigs.
So what's the most important thing you've learned so far in your music career?
Don't let it bring you down. Like sometimes, because obviously, if you're just doing it as a pastime, you know, all I want to do is music. So having to work a job on the side is like depressing. Sometimes find myself like getting really upset seeing other people get opportunities that you've also applied for or something like that. I don't know, it can just be really, really, really damaging to your self-esteem and to how you feel. Like it can just suck basically. Try not to let it, make you lose your love for music, because at the end of the day you're doing it because you love it, not
no one goes into
money.
music because it's really good for money.
It
sucks for everyone.
Yeah, it's not the best. Get yourself a portfolio, build yourself up, but just don't let it ruin your day basically.
Yeah, I'd agree. Just have some like strong foundations.
The more gigs we get, the bigger they're becoming. Like, we had this one person came up to us after our last gig and was like, oh my god, I love what you guys are doing. Was like, you guys are amazing. And like, it's that one guy who, and I think he's like 14 or 15. It was like that one guy who like completely made my evening. I was like, yeah, you like what we're saying.
Extra person that like has experienced something that they're happy enough.
Yeah,
to do that,
like that, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some really good advice. So, what are you working on at the moment? Have you got any gigs coming up? Is your opportunity to just advertise a bit?
Yeah, well, we have got some gigs coming up, and we're also going to the studio on Thursday to
Very
record a new
exciting.
song, and it's very different to our last track that we recorded last year. It's very different style, very different genre. It's gonna be mega. I'm hoping, because it's a sweet song. It's just one of those songs you play on stage, and it's like the serotonin levels just go through the roof. So I'm very excited for that, and that's happening on Thursday. And then we've got some big gigs coming up. We're playing at BardFest, which is in Bardwell,
Very
I think,
nice.
and playing at the Royal Northfolk Showground for a horse racing and thing. Playing at the Carnegie for like the Jubilee weekend.
Very exciting. I'll be looking forward to hearing your new track when it comes out.
Me too.
Have you got an idea of a release date yet?
I'm not entirely sure it's going to be finished on the Thursday, because it's quite, like I said, it's quite an epic song. So I think it might take a while, because it's quite complicated as well. We're going to a place in Norwich, Catch 21 Records. They're super, super good there. They did our last track, so I was like, we're going to go back. And he was amazing. We did that song in like 3 hours. So hopefully, but if it does get finished on the Thursday, then probably set it up for
one of the Fridays.
Maybe June or July, end of June, start of July. But yeah, hopefully late June, early July. Fingers crossed, because we've got to get artwork and everything. So.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, that's another interesting question. How do you go about getting your artwork? Do you try and do it yourself? Do you get commissions?
Oh, so there's this lovely person I've known for years. She was like an internet friend. Her best friend is like a graphic designer, studied it and everything. And she was like, I know someone if you're interested. And she sent me some artwork. So every single artwork for my solo stuff and for our other song has been done by her. She's amazing. She does it for me. If it's like a simple one, like Oh My God Was, that's the name of a single. That one was quite simple. My idea was like 2 people just barely touching, walking away from something. But I love having it like cartoony. But I always try to go like local and support a young artist instead of the big ones, because everyone's got to start somewhere, and that's what I would want if I was in that industry.
And when that art is as good as.
So ask around your friends, because there's always bound to be some creative person who's down to do it.
Absolutely, and I mean, like, that comes back down to like networking, knowing the right people, which I think is again a really important point. So what's your favorite part of gigging?
Oh, what's yours?
When there's other bands there.
And socializing with the bands.
I would call it networking, but it's too fun to come under such a weird term. Just hanging out.
I
love
think
it.
my favorite part of gigging is there's a few songs which are very like atmospheric and it's all like my vocals. My favorite part is starting that off. I love starting playing the first note and knowing that people are like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. I love watching their faces because they're expecting, I don't know, people never expect how we sound. That's my favorite part of gigging is just playing and just being able to perform. That's definitely my favorite part. Obviously, like the chatting and the socializing after is great, but for me, like it's the actual music, playing that first note and knowing, when it's a good one, it's like incredible. It's just spectacular. That's my favorite part, big time.
So what's something that you found challenging along the way, and how have you overcome it?
I mentioned it earlier, but definitely how sad you can get when you don't get an opportunity, or like I really, really find it challenging to dissociate. I think that's the word.
Oh, that's another thing that's really difficult. Is sometimes, like I know that you've done shifts like 8 hours before a gig,
Yeah,
and
because
then coming in afterwards and just feeling so exhausted.
yeah,
Like I'm really bad for it. I don't even work the same day, and sometimes I'm still in burnout from work.
especially because like when you are a musician, you need to have like a flexible-ish job, and sometimes the only flexible part is that you start early and you finish early. I'll start at 4 to 6, and then I'll finish at 4, and like my day's been really long already by the time we've actually gone to do the gig. So yeah, it's really difficult to like set boundaries with yourself, is what I was trying to say. Set boundaries.
And you mentioned briefly like about how you've played in like a lot of different cities. So how does it feel when like you first like start playing in other cities and you're not just like a local band playing in your hometown?
Yeah, we played in Camden and had a very good like response to that. The best part though is that I'm originally from Essex, and Dylan is from Northfolk, and we're based in Suffolk. So I played in Sudbury, I played in Colchester, and it's always nice like being able to explore a new place. Yeah, it's fun exploring new places. Really, really cool. Like we played in, I don't know if you know, at the Crypt in Norwich. We played there and it was so cool. It's like an underground crypt, but it was so cool. And yeah, playing in a new city that we've not played in before, that was fun. And yeah, it's just like exploring new places and getting on people's radars is the best part about new, like performing in new cities, like being asked to play there again and stuff. Like, yeah, I've established myself here now as well. It's always good.
Have you got a favorite venue that you've played at, and why?
Is that yours?
They treat us so well.
Huntley Club are really, really good, and the sound is always spectacular. I would say that's my favourite venue as well, followed very, very, very closely by the Blue Moon Club in Cambridge. That was lovely, and it was so cool. Definitely the Huntley Club, and it's local as well. Important local venues.
That's all the questions I've got. Thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for your time. And if everyone would like to like and subscribe to the Lisa Lash's School of Music channel, that would be super appreciated.